Welcome to episode 2 of our series 1 Cheshire Dog Lady podcast. Today we've got Rachel Rogers as our guest, and she is a dog behaviourist. I don't think there is anything that Rachel does not know. She is like the super nanny of dogs. So I'd really like to welcome Rachel on to our podcast. So we are joined today, as well, by my own dog, Maggie, and Bina, who is a regular guest dog here. So welcome to Rachel, who has got her dog with her, Pebbles. So Rachel, tell us, I've got so many questions for you. Tell us exactly what you do. You're a dog behaviourist, yeah?
Yeah, so technically a clinical animal behaviourist, but it's a little bit different to say like doctor and dentist. It's not a protected title. So anybody can claim they're a dog behaviourist. Like if you went on Google, anybody with no qualifications, no experience can set up and call themselves a behaviourist, and there's nothing to stop them doing that, which is a little bit scary.
It is, isn't it?
And a bit worrying. So we've got kind of what was called a clinical animal behaviourist. Means that I've been assessed as having kind of the knowledge and understanding of dogs at master's degree or higher, but then also the kind of the practical skills of working with dogs. So typically a behaviourist will work with more kind of difficult dogs rather than basic puppy training is kind of the difference between dog trainer and behaviourist.
Yeah, because obviously you hear people saying, I need a dog trainer or I need a dog behaviourist, or people saying they're one or the other. And, you know, what exactly is the difference?
Yeah, so typically a trainer would do kind of basic life skills. So any of your kind of puppy classes or like loose lead walking, recall, stuff like that, that would typically be a trainer. So that's not to say that trainers aren't good. They're great. I used to be a trainer. I have dog trainers who work on my team, but a behaviourist would work more with kind of problem dogs. So aggression, separation anxiety, kind of established behaviour problems. And the way that I see them is they have to have seen a vet before they come to me.
Right. Okay.
Are you giving kisses? Pebbles.
So, Maggie. Have you heard Maggie making that noise? So if somebody was looking for a dog behaviourist because their dog's behaviour, they were doing certain behaviours that they didn't like or didn't want to welcome, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we get it in daycare, obviously. What would you tell people or customers to look for?
Yeah, so the best and kind of the safest option for people is to go on the register of clinical animal behaviourists. So rather than using Google, there is an organisation called the ABTC. So the dog training world is full of acronyms, and the ABTC is the Animal Behaviour Training Council. And it's made up of different organisations, like Dogs Trust is on there, you've got Puppy School, you've got PACKED, you've got the APDT, all these different organisations who've assessed different dog trainers and behaviourists to a proper level. So you know that they're qualified and they're experienced and they're safe and they're ethical. They will be on that register.
It's funny, like so many people won't know that.
No.
It's the same with licensing. People don't realise that the list is on the Cheshire East Council website, and everyone's always like, oh really? Yeah.
But we all go to Facebook, don't we? We go to social media
and we look for recommendations,
and we ask for recommendations, and then people give you well-meaning suggestions, and it may have worked for their dog. You know, they may have had some dog trainer in who was recommended to them on Facebook who may be able to help with certain things. But if it comes down to your dog having, let's say, an aggression issue, that could have an underlying medical component. It needs to be someone who your vet has sent the medical history over to, your vet is happy to work alongside, and who has those appropriate credentials and is on the ABTC register.
Right. Amazing. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Fascinates me.
Yeah, and unless your vet is aware of that and is kind of promoting the ABTC, I don't know where people would find that out. Because you do just go, I need a dog trainer, I need a puppy trainer, I need whoever.
Well, it was this morning. I've seen one this morning. I tagged you in it, didn't I?
Yeah, thank you.
But again, we are in a world where we just go, and like you say, okay, word of mouth is a strong thing. I always say that, it's very powerful. But actually knowing that people are correctly qualified and experienced. I mean, I've known you a while now, and like, as I say, I just refer to you as the super nanny of dogs because I don't think there is anything that I that you don't know, that if I've ever asked you, you don't know. Like, you're so knowledgeable. Like, even when you deliver your training sessions, which I've sat in, when you've done little workshops at Charlie & Co. Like, there is no script, you just know it.
I don't tend to use scripts because I think you could fall foul very quickly if you've got in your mind set things that you want to do and what you want to teach, because really you have to teach the dog in front of you. And like those workshops, we've got 10 dogs in a coffee shop. I don't know, because I don't do the bookings. I don't know what is coming through that door. And sometimes it's people with no dogs, and that made my life easier. But it is hard. You can't, if I had in my mind we're going to spend 5 minutes on this, 7 minutes on this, then I know from my experience I'd get stressy, because I'd be like, well, I haven't covered it.
But it's just in your head, and it just rolls off your tongue. And that's when you know someone is really knowledgeable and really experienced and really good, in my opinion.
Oh, well, thank you. There's definitely stuff that I don't know, and there's cases that I would refer on. And for me, that's a sign of a good trainer or a behaviourist, is if they are able to say no. So rather than just saying yes to every customer who inquires because you get the money in, there are cases that I won't touch with a barge pole. So predation cases, for example, are not my bag. In the last 10 and a bit years of doing this, I've had no interest and no desire to work on predation cases. Like, I don't want to do it. And there's other dog trainers who don't want to do separation anxiety, whereas I love those cases and I'll take those
That's
on.
Fair enough,
so I just refer other people to other ABTC accredited individuals if it's not my remit and not my cup of tea. What are you doing? You coming in?
What are you doing, Pebs?
Are you a bit bored today? You can tell who's the youngster,
We
can't
call
you?
you Pammy as well, don't we? All right, Pam. Yeah?
I didn't know you called her that.
You said to me once, what's Pam doing? Or Pammy. And
It'll be Apple CarPlay.
Oh, really?
I always dictate my messages in CarPlay when I'm driving along, but I would have said...
I thought you called her Pam.
No, I'd have said Peb, because I call her Peb or Pebby. And then
I've been calling her Pammy when she comes to stay with me. I'm like, come on, Pam. That's hilarious. Sorry, Pebs.
Oh, bless her. She's got worse names than that.
Did you always think you were going to work with dogs?
No.
Like, what brought you to this point?
So my background of how I got into animal training probably isn't that popular in this day and age, but probably going to show.
Tell us.
So I didn't start life as a dog trainer. I've never had a real job. I've never been an accountant or had a sensible job, much to my parents' disappointment. My actual first paid job out of uni was I was a dolphin trainer.
So what did you do at uni?
Psychology initially,
right, okay.
And then animal behaviour as a master's. But when I did psychology, I did animal learning and cognition, and was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But even as a young kid, we used to go to Edinburgh Zoo, and they had the penguin parade, where they come out and there's a person who has a bucket and the penguins follow them around the zoo. And that, I was like, that's what I'm doing as a job. And I'm at this private all-girls school, and, everyone's going off to be a doctor, a dentist and a lawyer, and I'm there going, I want to lead the penguin parade at Edinburgh Zoo.
Oh, why not? Why not?
Yeah, so
your first job was what, sorry?
A dolphin trainer. So I was marine mammals to start with. Yeah.
Where was that out there?
In the Caribbean. So I went and lived in the Dominican Republic. So I'm not really enjoying the weather in the Northwest, I'm not going to lie. It's miserable.
You're from the Northwest, though?
No, I'm from Newcastle-upon-Tyne.
Oh.
Yeah. But Spanish with a Geordie accent doesn't work, so I think I lost the accent quite early on.
So where did you go from there, then?
Blackpool Zoo.
Oh, wow.
And did more marine mammals when I came back to the UK. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And then
Not many people can say that.
No. And it's not popular now when people look at, I'm not going to say documentary because it's not entirely factual, but there was the Blackfish programme that was on Netflix, was around the time that I was working in the marine mammal industry. And so there was a lot of kind of perception, change in public belief. What is wrong with you?
She can see the dogs.
Oh, you're missing all your friends
Can see the daycare doggies, can't you?
Tail.
They've all just been let out for a wee.
Oh, Pebs.
Shayla's looking after them from the team today while I'm in here, Pebs.
Hello.
So then you did that at Blackpool, yeah?
And then I stayed in Blackpool and I ended up working for the RSPCA. So I started as kind of animal centre manager. So just kind of looking after kennelled dogs, cats, rabbits, ferrets, anything that came through the door. And we started to have more sticky dogs. So dogs that we had for over 6 months that couldn't get homes. And that's when I kind of went, do you know what? It's the problem dogs that I prefer working with. And I want to do something to help these dogs to get homes.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stayed in rescue for years and years and years doing behaviour and training work in rescue. And then just before lockdown, went self-employed.
Oh, wow.
10 days before lockdown.
Oh, my
Thank you,
goodness.
Boris.
So you just launched NoseToTrail?
Yeah, I'd literally left a well-paid manager job in the rescue sector, went self-employed, and then 10 days later we were put in lockdown and I couldn't go and see any dogs in person.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So we're doing quite well, I think, to be 5 years on and still be going.
Incredible.
Yeah, because that
You
was
think then now,
the panic of, I've
But
just done this
then-
and we've got a mortgage.
even though that time it was critical for you to have just started your business and everywhere to be locked down, then through COVID, everybody having COVID dogs probably then created you a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because we had all these dogs with separation anxiety.
Exactly that. So as much as I didn't want to benefit, and obviously I'd rather it got to the point where I had no problem dogs to deal with,
Yeah.
there was more work and also more people willing to work over Zoom and use remote technology,
Yeah.
which for the separation anxiety cases is so helpful. Because if I go to people's houses, I'm there and the owner's there, you don't really see the behaviour. You don't get to work on the behaviour properly. It's not
Yeah.
the right environment. You back? You got ants in your pants today,
Tammy.
Pebbles. I'm going to start calling her that at home.
So sorry, Pebbles.
Everybody
I just thought
else-
that was your nickname at home.
Everyone else is being so well behaved. And obviously the dog trainer's dog is the naughty one.
She's not. She's a bloody golden girl when you come here, aren't you?
I think that's the thing though. Her expectation of coming here is have the best time.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
She's like,
It's
"What's
not
going
come in
on?"
and sit down and do nothing.
So, sorry, were you then inundated with inquiries after lockdown?
Yeah, I did all right
People
during.
as well just had a puppy for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm in a fortunate position now in that I don't work with everyone who inquires with me. So I found certainly in the last kind of 18 months that I was getting quite burnt out. And I said to you at the start, didn't I? I don't like people. And I really started to dislike people and the way the expectations we're putting on dogs.
Yeah.
So I'd got to the point where I was getting really unrealistic inquiries and people who were not willing to put the time and effort in. So in the same way that I pay for a gym membership and don't go
Yeah.
and therefore do not lose any weight,
I know.
they would pay me money, sign up to do things, not do any of the things I recommend, and then wonder why their dog's behaviour didn't change.
Yeah.
And I find that really frustrating
I can
because
imagine, yeah.
I have limited time. As you know, as a service
Yeah.
provider, you are limited in time. You can't have every single dog. You can't do everything.
No.
And I felt like, well, you've taken my time away from dogs who could really benefit and we could really improve their welfare.
Isn't it crazy, though, that people want to spend money and not do the work?
It's
Correct
amazing.
everything.
It is amazing the number of people who will. And it's not, as a clinical animal behaviourist, like I work on vet referrals. So there's a written report, we do an initial consult that lasts a couple of hours. Then there's a written report. There's the liaison with the vet, which quite a lot of the time is a lot of liaison because up to 82% of behaviour cases have an underlying health component. So I'm there back and forth with the vet, discussing, do we need medication? Is the dog in pain? Do we need imaging? Whatever is going on. Sometimes you're also then working with, people like yourself or the
Yeah.
groomer or whoever else is involved in this dog's care.
Yeah.
And then there's all the actual in-person training sessions and writing up those notes. So there's quite a lot goes into it. And the amount of, it's not cheap. It isn't cheap. And you get what you pay for. If someone
Absolutely.
says they're willing to do a dog behaviour case for £15, I would bet my life savings that they're not an actual behaviourist
No.
because they can't work for that amount of money.
No.
We all have overheads.
Yeah.
And actually, in terms of number of hours per case, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
People don't see behind the scenes. It's the
No.
same here. People don't. They just think we're sat cuddling dogs all day, which I know. I am
You
today,
are.
but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, all three by the look of things. I don't get one.
Hi. Hi. Oh, Pebbles, are you my
Pebbles.
best girl?
She
Are
absolutely.
you creeping?
She is.
Are you
She absolutely
creeping?
can't cope with the fact she's not the one on your knee getting all the attention.
Come on, baby. Come on. So there's lots and lots of myths out there, isn't there, that people like. Let me think of one. Maybe you'll know loads probably, but like people think a dog well exercised will be a dog that's well behaved.
Yeah.
And all of that sort
I get
of
that
thing.
all the
I'm
time.
trying to think of another one. Have you got one?
Well, the ones I get all the time in separation anxiety are things like this, like you've caused it because you let your dog on the sofa. That's a really common one. Like your dog has a separation issue because you've let it on the sofa and you've let it on the bed. And there are still trainers on social media perpetuating those myths and telling people if you let your dog sleep in the bed, you're the reason it can't cope when you go out of the house. And it's just not true.
No.
It's not true at all. I mean, well, you know, because Pebs comes
I've
here.
heard that lots, actually.
She doesn't sleep in bed with me. She sleeps in a crate.
Yeah.
She's happy in a crate. She's crate trained. But my other two older dogs do sleep in the bed. They don't have separation issues. They're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now because they've actually done research and it proves the opposite. So it shows like when you get a puppy, if you like co-sleep with them, then actually they're less likely to develop separation anxiety because they form a secure attachment with you.
Oh, wow.
So like the advice from when I started doing this as a job years ago to now has like flipped on its head. And we're almost like proactively saying to people, be prepared in those early weeks, sleep on the sofa, sleep near your puppy, because
So
they've been with mum, they've been with their litter mates, they've never been on their own, they're terrified.
Yeah. It's funny actually because one of my close friends has just picked up a puppy at the weekend and she's never had a dog in her life. She was absolutely petrified whether she was going to do everything right, and she was checking stuff with me and I said, you're going to be just fine. You're going to absolutely nail it. And the first 2 nights she slept on the sofa.
Yeah.
And so the puppy can probably sense that she's close by and she's on call to sort of, can't be expected to go all night without a wee. So when it's cried, she's gone to it straight outside. It's done a wee, straight back in.
Yeah.
Back on the sofa. And she's going to gradually go back upstairs.
Yeah.
Which, fine. I think people have got big expectations. You've just, like you say, taken that puppy. It's got no smell of its mum. I mean, when we had our first dog, the breeder gave us a blanket so she'd got a smell.
Yeah,
but a lot of breeders don't do that.
No, we took stuff. So when I got Pebbles, I took blankets when I went to visit her, and then I took blankets home that smelt of her for the other 2 dogs, and we did loads of scent swapping to prepare them and her for them coming back.
Yeah, people just don't realise those things. And again, I suppose, you know, if you're a new dog parent, it's the same as if you're a new actual parent. You know, nobody tells you, there's no textbook as such to tell you. You just learn on the go, or you learn from what people tell you, don't you, really, or your own experience.
Yeah, but even that, so I saw a new puppy recently, it was just the end of last week, and they had another one. So resource guarding is a huge issue and something we want to avoid in dogs. So them like protecting something that they think is high value. And they've got little sausage dog puppy, and they had been told that they should like pretend to eat the dog's food to stop it from resource guarding. So they should take stuff off it and they should pretend to eat it. And like, I've been doing this, I've never heard that one before. And I was like, where on earth have you got that from? And they were like, you know, a dog that we'd had, you know, previously.
Have they
like,
just read it?
No, a client had told them that. Someone else they know with a dog had told them that. And I was just like, no, it's completely wrong, because actually resource guarding stems from a fear that you're going to take something away from me.
And that dog could, you know, at the end of the day, it's a dog. It could easily rip your face off if it wanted to.
Yeah. And actually, just because it is a little sausage dog doesn't mean it won't. There was a woman in the newspaper this summer who'd had her cheek ripped off by a sausage dog. And we shouldn't underestimate the small dogs.
No.
Absolutely not.
And I'm sorry, even your own dog, like my Maggie's been very poorly this week, and she was obviously in a lot of pain. And I was conscious of, as much as I wanted to cuddle her, and she was cuddled on my knee, I didn't want to cuddle her so her face was near my face, because God forbid I just touched an area that was in pain. It wouldn't be her fault if she just turned and bit into my face, because that's the only thing they can do. To react.
Yeah, and you're so right. Like, pain is one of the biggest things that is going to cause a dog to be more likely to be aggressive. And we don't think of that. You know, why would you? Because as a human, you would just say, no, don't, my back hurts or whatever. But they can't communicate that. And if we have spent ages punishing them for growling, for example, then we've taught them you can't growl. So then you just make them silent and deadly, don't you? They're left with no other option but to go in with a
and I've
bite.
had Maggie from a puppy, and she's 10, and it would be so easy for me to say, oh, she'd never do that.
Yeah.
But when in pain, you don't know what a dog's going to do in pain.
Under the wrong circumstances, any dog can bite. One of the earliest cases where I really saw that was a golden retriever. And how many times do you see on social media, golden retriever, perfect family dog, golden retriever, perfect family dog. They're really good around kids. They're not going to bite, blah, 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 blah. And this golden retriever had bitten a child in the face. And I tried and tried. We were temperament testing this dog, and I couldn't get any kind of sign out of this dog that it was going to show aggression. And I was like, something has happened here with this kid. Something has happened. And they found, those little IKEA pencils?
Yeah.
Been rammed in its ear.
Oh. And it was that far down they didn't know?
You literally, because it had these big, fluffy, probably a bit matted, a bit overweight, not regularly groomed.
Oh,
and no one had thought to lift up and have a look. And so it looks like, and obviously no one was there. The parents had left the child unattended with the dog, and it had rammed that. And you think, no wonder it bit. No wonder it bit. You cannot begin to imagine how trapped and scared, and also the excruciating pain that dog felt. And I know there's going to be people out there, probably people who watch this, who go, she shouldn't excuse a dog bite. No, we shouldn't. And aggression is wrong, and we need to support that dog.
Yeah.
But it's not through punishment. That is a clear case of it's about education. And it's about how kids and dogs live safely together, because a kid should never have been allowed to do that to the dog.
No.
Never.
And it would have caused pain.
So much pain.
So the only reaction a dog can do is to turn around and bite to protect itself.
Awful. It was absolutely awful.
That's really, don't get me started on these videos that go round of newborn babies with their dogs.
Do you know, I think...
I don't know whether we
So
touch on it or not.
I don't have kids. And obviously I'm at an age where all of my friends, basically every single person I know is married and had babies or is having babies. And I must be the friend that they all dread, because they put these pictures up of their newborn baby back home from the hospital, introducing him to his big brother, and a picture of the dog, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I can't even bring myself to click like, because I'm like, what I do for work. At no point have you asked me how to prepare your dog for the arrival of a human baby.
It's a massive thing.
It's huge. And if they've lived at home with you for 10 years, they've had you, they've had the partner, they've had the house to themselves, the peace and quiet, they've been able to come on the sofa and do all of these things. And now all of a sudden you're putting a wriggly little newborn on a changing mat and expecting them not to go over and sniff it. The dog doesn't understand.
No.
You've got to do training and prepare them for it. And they never ask. And then they've got baby with the dog in a headlock, and I'm going, oh no. Just don't want social media, do we, Pebs, if we have to look at stuff like that?
Hey.
Think yourself lucky, there'll be no kids around you.
One of the biggest things when people are trying to book in with me, the most common thing I must hear, because obviously we do have to ask about how the dog's behaviour is, how they interact with other dogs and stuff. And obviously, if they weren't a sociable dog, or had been any altercations with another dog, we couldn't entertain it. It's not the right environment for them. But one of the biggest things that we get is, my dog's got separation anxiety, which I know we've just briefly spoken about. But is there... What tips could you give anyone tips for anyone with a dog with separation anxiety? What would be your top tips?
Don't leave them. So if your dog has true separation anxiety and not what we would class as exit aversion, because you've got some dogs who kick up a fuss when you leave.
Yeah.
So you go out and they'll kick up a fuss, but within a couple
barking,
and then they'll lie down, they'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's still something you should work on. It absolutely is. But if you've got a dog who doesn't cope the whole time you're out, so, pop up a camera, even a phone, whatever, record them, and they're pacing, they're panting, they're salivating, they can't
crying.
sleep, they don't rest, they're crying. Worse, they're peeing, they're pooing, they're chewing through the sofa, whatever. Then you can't leave them, because separation anxiety doesn't just spontaneously get better. They're not going to just wake up one morning and be like, oh, actually, I'm absolutely fine being left on my own. What typically you're doing is making it worse and worse and worse, because every time you leave that dog, you're proving to them there's a reason to be scared of being alone. Don't fall down the back. The puppy's batteries have come out. But yeah, it's so difficult. And I really do feel for people. And it's partly why separation anxiety cases are some of my favourite to work on, because there's such an impact on the human and the dog. And so if we can get that right and we can support those dogs to overcome that, the human's world gets better, the dog's world gets better, everybody's welfare is improved. But the hardest thing is if people have to go to work and they have no option. So if you've got a reactive dog barking London, snarling at other dogs, who also has separation anxiety, so they can't come to you, but they can't be left at home, I really feel for those people, because finding a solution while you do the training is hard.
Yeah,
it is hard.
I guess so, yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, so do you get many like that with a double whammy?
Yeah. So most behaviour cases, I would say, are comorbid. There's more than one thing going on. So we'll get what I would call the presenting problem. Like someone will book a discovery call through the website and say to me they're in touch because their dog's reactive. And when I go out and I see them and we're having a chat through about what's wrong, typically you start to unpick there's other problems. So they're not just reactive on the lead to dogs. They will also kick off at visitors. They just shut the blinds every day and avoid when the postman comes because that's a problem. They're scared of fireworks. They're scared about, but because it's a short-lived thing and it's not having a huge impact on the human, quite a lot of the time people won't mention that. I have to really dig to get them to admit those other things. But usually there is other stuff going on, and it's the same undercurrent a lot of the time. So in the separation anxiety cases, quite often that's a dog who has generalized anxiety. They're scared of lots of things in lots of different contexts rather than just, I can't cope with being on my own.
Yeah. So if people are prepared to put the work in, and some people do what you put in place and their plan and their homework and everything like that, is it doable? Can they come out the other end?
Yeah. So all behaviour is modifiable. I can't remember there was a dog trainer said that like years ago, and I remember thinking that is so true. All behaviour is modifiable, but to what extent?
Yeah.
So if you've got a dog that has resource guarding, it's never going to not resource guard again. We cannot guarantee 100% that dog won't resource guard again, because you could become complacent, someone could give it something it's never had before, and then you'll see a recurrence of that behaviour. Same with reactivity. You'll get it down to a level where they can live a normal life, you can walk them around shops and stuff, you can go and do other things, but there might be a day where they're in more pain, or a dog looks at them funny or does something funny and then they react again. So you're never going to get rid of something 100%. And that's why I think a red flag in terms of what should people look for is trainings claiming they can will fix it. 100% guaranteed fix.
It's having the tools, isn't it?
Yeah.
To manage it.
Yeah.
So it's how you can manage it, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, separation anxiety,
I've been lucky, like none of my dogs have had separation anxiety.
And it is, if you're a first-time dog... Yeah, no, it's really hard.
I don't think I would.
It is. And it was one of the things with Pebbles, because of my line of work, I was like, I absolutely cannot end up with a dog who I can't leave because I need to go out to clients. There are some of my clients that wouldn't be safe for you to come and see, and it wouldn't be appropriate.
No. And do you know what? Like, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I always say to people, your dog should revolve around you, not you revolve around your dog, your life. What I'm saying is, like, I would hate to be able to, I'd hate it if I had to say I can't come to that because I can't leave the dog.
But I think as well, people don't think about that when they get a puppy. So for me, that was like number one priority. The first thing I taught her was to be happy being alone. It wasn't sit, it wasn't stand, it wasn't loose lead walking.
Yeah.
Really haven't done a great deal of loose lead walking at all because it's been about engagement and her having a safe bond and feeling secure. And so I spent loads of time. She had a pen originally. We'd pop in and out. We'd leave her for long. We had the camera set up. I remember the first time I left her and, we'd done everything. We'd had everything ready. We'd done training. I could be upstairs in the house for 4 hours. She'd be absolutely fine. But I was conscious of things like locking the door.
Yeah.
driving down the driveway.
Yeah.
All of those things. And I had the Ring camera open and I was just going down my driveway and back up again, like watching her, like, is that going to be a trigger? No, she's fine.
Yeah.
Going to Sainsbury's, all the way around Sainsbury's, nearly walking into people with my trolley because I was just fixated on checking she. And she's been absolutely fine, just in her bed, an absolute dream.
Can we just say this dog isn't even one?
I know.
And she is an angel. I'm sorry.
You were 10 months on Sunday, weren't you?
She's come to stay with me twice now, or 3 times.
Yeah.
You've come to stay with us, haven't you?
But I needed that for my life. Like, my other half's 2 hours away. My parents are 4 hours away. I don't have someone local I can rely on.
No.
And so, other than you. So she had to be that dog who could. She had to be sociable to be able to come to things like this. She had to be able to be left. She's just been left this morning when I went wild swimming. She's fine. She just got back in her dog bed and went to sleep. Yeah. Which, for a working lines dog...
And mine have always been like that. I mean, dare I ask, what's the most common dog you've had? What's the most common breed for a separation anxiety? I think I know what you're going to say.
So
I'd like to guess. I'd like to think my guess is right.
Separation anxiety is really interesting. So I know what I've seen and I know what the actual scientific, proper, like, peer-reviewed literature says.
Okay.
So... I see, and it could also be we see more of these just in our local area, but I see cockapoos.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah, more cockapoos and also sausage dogs, so Daxies. I see cockapoos and Daxies.
Is there a reason for the
cockapoos?
Yeah.
So part of it, I think, is to do with the genetics. Certainly in our local area, we have, and I'm probably not going to make myself popular with saying this, we have poor gene pool. We really do. We've got notorious, prolific cockapoo breeders, puppy farm breeders. So when we look at that, you've got really small gene pool. They're pretty much always breeding dogs that we know are anxious with other dogs that are anxious. So you've got a genetic aspect to it. And then we've got them in bad environments when they're being pregnant and when those puppies are being reared. And so then you've got the epigenetic factors, because if the mum feels stressed during pregnancy, that goes straight down the blood-brain barrier and the puppy gets to be a more stressful, anxious puppy as well.
See, I told you, your mum's a genius. She knows everything. There's nothing she doesn't know. Did you know that?
Yeah, it is. So, but what's really interesting, and I have never had one, watch me now get an inquiry about it after this, but the research says golden retrievers.
They don't have separation.
They say it's the most common breed.
Oh,
so there's a bit of research.
But you've never had an inquiry?
But I've never had a golden retriever for separation anxiety.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. But it'll be to do with that sample size. You know, they'll have looked at like golden retrievers, German shepherds, you know, whatever other breeds they have. They won't have looked at everything. They may not have even included a cockapoo. It may not have been a popular cross when they did that research. But yeah, I see loads of them and the Daxies as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's also interesting, isn't it? Is that a breed disposition? Because when you see people who have a sausage dog, they quite often have more than one.
Yes.
A lot of them have got loads.
Yes, they do. You're right.
And they'll say they're a group animal. And they are. All dogs are social animals.
Yeah.
But some dogs' social reference can be a human.
I wonder if they get a second one for company for the first one, if the first one's got separation anxiety.
Which, thinking of those myths again, of like, what's the common myths is get a second dog, it'll fix it. Or you could just end up with 2 dogs with separation anxiety.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is going to make your life even harder.
And then on top of that, the sausages are just so vocal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, typically. But again, you know, we were saying like you want your dog to fit around your life, not you fitting around the dog. I wonder if a huge part of what we're seeing at the minute is people getting dogs without realising what that breed was originally designed for. Because I knew what I was taking on with a working border terrier. I've had them before.
Yeah.
I also know that I wanted a dog to work.
Yeah.
So I want a dog that has stamina. I want a dog that can come hiking in the Lake District with me and my partner, who can sit on the paddleboard, who will come wild swimming with us, but can also snooze for 6 hours quite happily.
Yeah.
And border terriers are brilliant for that. They are a massively underrated family dog. They really are, because they
Golden girl.
They can be at home and they can be chill, but they're smart and you can do stuff with them. And they're hardy. You know, they are pretty, you know, robust in terms of health problems. They're not lots of...
Are they not malt border terriers?
So the hand strip. So some people will say they're hypoallergenic and they don't. I mean, but she does leave hairs on me. But she's hand stripped.
Not your typical, Maggie just...
No, well, I was going to say, I don't think these are Pebbles as hairs.
No, they won't. They'll be bloody Maggies, probably.
But yeah, we get a lot of that, of people who've got the wrong dog. And sometimes I wish I could go, should take your dog and give it to that person. and things like, I don't know if you get many of them in daycare, but I get a lot of collies, German shepherds, Belgian Malinois, because people get them because they're smart, so they think they'll be easy to train. They really underestimate the fact that you've taken on a proper working dog that needs a job. And it can't sit at home for 8 to 9 hours while you're at work all day. And then you go to the gym and pick the kids up. And
no, well, we don't have large breeds just because I don't have the space, but I love the large breeds. My first dog was a boxer dog. But going on to my soapbox on that, like, why do people have working dogs as a pet? Because I just think it's his bread to be worked, like you're working Pebbles. And if you're working full time,
most people can't do it. You've
got Cocker Spaniels that have got so much energy.
Yeah.
But they should be working.
Yeah. Yeah, they should be. And they're so smart. And if you look at the cockapoo, you've got most of them are a working line cocker. Yeah. They're not a show lazy cocker crossed with a highly intelligent poodle. And poodles are brilliant as well. I don't know why people don't just get a poodle. Some like, they still look cute. They're brilliant. They're brilliant, but you don't have the resource guarding tendencies of a cocker that you've crossed in. Like cockapoos, 9 times out of 10 when they're coming to me, it's resource guarding. Yeah. It's been under the table guarding things.
I've had a cockapoo and it's nicked a sock or a shoe or something. Oh my God, you would not try to take it.
No. No. Last year, Christmas Day, because we always place bets on how early into Christmas Day I'm going to get a message. Last year, Christmas Day, cockapoo taking a Toblerone from under the Christmas tree, bit someone because they tried to take it off it. And I can understand why, because you're looking at this little dog and you're looking at the Toblerone thinking, if you eat that chocolate, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to take it off you. You know, just go and grab some cheese. Throwing cheese down on the floor until it goes, I'll take the cheese over the Toblerone. But if you go to just try and rip that out of its mouth, it's having you. It's going to have you.
So you get messages on Christmas Day?
Oh, yeah.
I get messages on Christmas Day about homeboarding as well. I find it fascinating that somebody is
sat there having a rubbish Christmas and they're thinking, next year I'm going away.
Honest to God, I'm like, seriously, it's Christmas Day if you've not got anything better to do.
Every year. And I used to work them. So I used to do, like, there's a behaviourist phone line for some pet insurance companies. And it was good money. I'm not going to lie. It was good money if you covered the Christmas Day shift. Because we'd get paid overtime.
Yeah.
And, so you're getting paid and you've only got to answer the phone if someone rings. And we'd get little, phone calls. The dog's just eating the turkey. What can I do? Well, what you need to be doing is trying to find some meat for your family and dealing with this in the new year. What you don't need is a phone call with me to tell you.
Because your dog's not going to die if it eats turkey. Oh, God. As long as it's not the roasted chestnuts.
No, but every year, it's eaten a mince pie, it's had the Christmas cake, it's, all of these things where, again, you just think, this is huge. We could solve this. Like, you should know before you get a dog what kind of things are toxic to dogs. And if you don't, please go on a first aid course, go on a pet first aid course, and then just put them a height. Say to guests, is there chocolate in these presents? Yes, right, okay, it goes up on the side. It's not...
Yeah, I know.
Same at Easter.
Oh, God, yeah. That's another nightmare, isn't it?
You're quite comfy there, Pebbles.
You're right, Pebs. Eh?
She's just snoring.
Can we just talk about Pebbles, today a little bit? Because she is a little superstar in her own right, isn't she? She is the youngest,
Oh, so she's now done a second exam. So
second exam, you're not even what?
She was under 9 months. I think she beat the previous dog by 1 day because she was technically 8 months and like 29 days when she passed her intermediate pet trail assessment. So she's hopefully...
So what's your title?
Pam.
Pammy.
She hopefully in a little bit will do some more exams and then she'll be to take over from my other dog and become a lost dog search dog is the aim.
Wow.
But my old boy actually on Saturday, he's not here, but he aged 10 and a bit, being a grumpy old rescue from Portugal who has arthritis and is feeling very sorry for himself, passed his official expert exam. So he'd been out looking for real lost dogs and stuff, but the assessments and rosettes didn't exist.
I mean,
so
that's
we did
a
it
whole
at the
other
weekend.
topic. We could get really deep into that because it fascinates me.
Yeah, you might have to have Marilyn on. Have your Auntie Marilyn on. Talk about the Canine School of Trailing and finding lost animals.
Shall we do that?
Grunt.
Snoring down here. Just snoring.
You get less snoring with the Border Terrier.
Aww.
Occasionally you do a little bit of snoring, but more dreaming.
Haven't we, Pabs?
Oh, you're a bit stinky.
Wait till she trumps. Pebbles comes to daycare home boarding, so when you're away, Pebbles comes here, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Now, it's quite controversial because sometimes with dog trainers and behaviourists, they're a bit of a big no-no, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
and
talk to me. You send Pebbles.
Yeah, I send her here, and obviously she loves coming here, and I know that I kind of keep an eye on her behaviour and what happens with her at home and things. And if I thought ever that it was impacting her behaviour, I'd have that conversation with you. And it is a difficult one because I think it's very easy for people to lump daycares and, you know, dog sitting and stuff into the same category. They are not all created equal. Just like we were saying with dog trainers,
they're
absolutely not. So sometimes when I've got behaviour cases who've got a reactive dog, the dog's reactivity is not caused because it is scared of other dogs. And they'll say, oh, he's brilliant at daycare, he has a great time at daycare. That's the problem, is the dog's expectation of being around other dogs is to be off lead, running around, causing absolute carnage, having a great time.
Yeah.
So then when you put them on lead and you walk them down the street, the dog can't cope because it wants to pull and lunge to get to all the dogs. So it's caused by barrier frustration. I'm on a lead and I can't get to do what I want to do. So when you see those kind of behaviours, I always end up asking people, like, do you know what happens at daycare? Do you know what the setup is like?
Yeah.
And they are often very different to the setup that I know Pebbles has when she's here, because obviously you let me come. I saw her, I saw the dog she was going to be with, I saw how many they were, I saw the environment. It is not the same as her going to one of these massive commercial kind of barns or converted farm buildings with loads of dogs just in running loose with nothing down. There's nothing to stop them running. They're just running the whole time.
Yeah, having
no
that structure.
No,
there's
not. And it's very different and it does impact their behaviour. Whereas I know, like, when she was a puppy, you used to make sure she had breaks, she got her extra meal times, she had sleep, because that's so important, otherwise she will be naughty.
That's a really good point, because we have to write policies for our licence and stuff, and we have a puppy policy. So obviously when Pebbles come and she was a young puppy, we do have to give them extra rest time. So obviously Pebbles was crate trained, so she would have breaks in the house to rest in the crate. I'm assuming, you know, commercial places do as well. I'm not saying that they don't, but, you know, we are very conscious of those things. And it's funny because we do have some dogs that come and you can tell that they're always off lead, because if we try to do a lead walk, you know, it's hard work. It's not enjoyable. It's you're just being dragged along.
Yeah.
So it's important to do a bit of both, isn't it, when you're training your dog?
100%.
I mean, there's people who daren't let the dogs off, and that, you know.
And, you know, I think if I look back at, like, our old two border terriers that we had from when I was younger, they didn't go off. Like, we didn't have them off lead. They were really strong, like, ratty type borders. They would have been off down a rabbit hole and you'd probably be picking them up a few days later.
God, don't.
But I think they missed out? No, I don't.
No.
Because they still got good exercise.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the time, like where we grew up beside Newcastle City Centre, they couldn't be off anyway. Hello, what are you crying for?
She can see the daycare doggies coming out for a wee.
You're missing your pals.
Oh.
It just shows how happy she is when she's here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think they missed out.
You know, because we run it from home, it is a very tiny environment compared to bigger places. I mean, some places can have 40 to 50 dogs a day.
Yeah, and that's, for me, that's where you're going to see more problems, because even if you look at the staffing ratio, you can't have eyes in the back of your head the whole time. And I just don't think people can keep an eye on all of those relationships and interactions between all the different dogs.
Yeah.
Whereas I know you know these dogs as individuals. Like, you know what Pebbles is like down to an absolute T.
Yeah.
You know her personality.
I know.
You know her relationships with the others as she tries to play with Bina on the floor. You know, they are really... It's important you get to know the dogs and what is right for them.
And again, that's another good point. My partner, when he comes at the weekends and we've got dogs in, I'll say to him, just watch this now. And I know what's coming, what behaviours are coming in with the dogs. And when it happens, he's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, because I just know the dogs so well.
Yeah, and you can read their individual body language and know what they're up to.
Yeah, and we've got a license for 8, so it's a small number. So you do get to know the dogs really well. And we talked about in the last episode how attached I get to the dogs. And of course, I text you all the time saying, she's not coming home. She's not coming home. Oh, you Pebbles.
I think Pebbles would be quite happy if she didn't come home, to be honest.
She's such a good girl and she's not even one.
Well, let's hope it stays like that, because adolescence can be hard and I'm under no illusions. Yes, I've done training with her, but I'm under no illusions. Hormones could change things. When she comes into her next season, there might be another spike of a change of behaviour. But touch wood, at the minute, she's riding through being a teenager quite well.
Oh, she's good as gold.
Yeah.
She's good as gold. You couldn't ask for anyone better. Hey?
Coming back up.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sure everybody would have found it really interesting.
Thank you.
And just quickly, actually, then, because you've got another slight business, haven't you? So just quickly tell us about that, because you mentioned it and you said that they might want to come on, which is a good idea.
Yeah, so Marilyn's also local. So the pet trail side of things, so we're NoseToTrail, and that's because my kind of specialty is I use this man trailing and pet trailing to help dogs to overcome behaviour problems. So man trailing is basically like a giant game of hide and seek. You teach dogs to sniff out missing people, or in Pebbles' case, missing dogs. So she's going to hopefully, really go out looking for lost dogs in the future. And so there were, at the time, only myself and this one other lady doing it. And you couldn't make up that in the whole of the UK, we're both in Cheshire. And in the dog world, I'm sure you get this too, there's quite a lot of competition and rivalry.
Yeah.
And so I was really fortunate that we met at an event, we got on really well. And rather than there being competition, she kind of went, well, why don't we just run a company together? And I was a bit like,
lovely.
No. And so we do. So, she has her own company, I have mine, but then we now teach other dog trainers across the UK and abroad to do what we do. So to teach the pet trailing side of things.
So you teach people, so then they're qualified to go and do it themselves.
Yeah, so we've got a lady studying in America. I was on the phone to a lady in France yesterday who's hopefully going to train up and do the same as what we do over there. So yeah, it's really lovely.
It might be a good opportunity to get... Is it Marilyn, did you say? Marilyn. You don't hear Marilyn very much. My mum's called Marilyn, so you don't hear it very much, do you?
No.
It'd be a good idea, but thank you so much. And thank you,
worries.
Pebbles.
Sorry she hasn't sat still.
Thank you, Pebbles.
Today, but...
Come and say goodbye to everybody on the camera, please.
No, go up the top. There we go. That's
Rachel. It's
nice.
been really interesting, and I'm sure everybody listening will find it really interesting. So
thank you.
Don't forget, guys, that at the bottom, all the information will be there, so you can like, share, and follow us. And if you'd like to do that, we'd be really grateful. Thank you.